Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire in Scotland. We are on the Gold Noble field, as it's now being called. Just two of us today, Pete in the distance and me, both on the same machine, the XP Goldmax Power V4. And we're back on this stubble field where Marty found his incredible, albeit folded, Gold Noble. So hopefully in about 3 weeks' time that'll be straightened out, and I'll do another video on that once we see how it looks. So we've had 3 hammered coins on this field in the last 2 visits. Pete also got that beautiful silver ring which we think is medieval. So fingers crossed we're going to turn up some more nice finds. Well, barely 3 feet in and we've got our first find. It was basically on the surface, didn't even need to really dig for it, just scraped the top with my foot and there it was. Piece of bronze or piece of copper alloy, not sure what that is. It's got a hole through it at the end. I am going to guess tractor related part. It looks too chunky to be anything else. So just another couple of feet on. Seems like we're on a roll. Let's see what we get. Well, this popped out straight away. It's part of a buckle. Could be military. Well, there's definitely something going on there. Some sort of decoration. Looks a bit like the Loch Ness Monster with its extended sort of neck at that end. But I think it's too far gone to tell what that is. Well, I must be on a good line because 10 feet and 3 signals. This is part of a buckle. I'm on fire. That sounds like a coin all day long. Well, it's taken me all of about 4.5 minutes and I think we have our first coin. It's looking pretty toasted. A couple of lines, but I don't know if that's decoration or if that's just corrosion. Well, I think we've got an interesting one here. Initially I'm thinking, I think there's a head looking to the left, which means probably George II. However, on the back side there is definitely a cross. And if you look closely, there's a cross, and if you get the light just right, it's being straddled by a human figure. Now the cross at the angle that it is tells me that it's St. Andrew. He's the patron saint of Scotland. He was one of Jesus' apostles, and he was crucified in Patras in Greece in around about 60 or 80 AD. And in the 4th century his relics, I think it was like a shin bone, a few teeth and a kneecap, were brought to Scotland by St. Regulus because his relics were going to be taken to Constantinople, because Constantine the Great was moving the capital from Rome to Constantinople, what we now call Istanbul. And his relics were brought to St. Andrews in Scotland, which takes the name of St. Andrew. And St. Andrew's Cathedral was built to house his relics. Now, I'm not suggesting that this dates to the 1st or even the 4th century, but that little figure definitely looks like it's supposed to be related to St. Andrew. And we've got another, well, something. That's 5 finds in probably about 30 feet, all within the first 10 minutes, and probably 8 of those minutes I've spent either digging or talking. Initially I thought it was a coin because it's, or a broken coin because of its shape. However, it's very flat on this side, but on this side you'll notice it's sort of tapered on the edge, almost like a sort of teardrop effect. It's bronze, and I think this is a casting. It's getting a bit breezy. Let's turn away from the wind. So I think this is a bronze, basically waste or spilt molten bronze. My luck has run out. Nothing better than digging down a foot for a milk bottle top. And I can confirm that it is a milk bottle top, not a gold noble. Oh, we've got a really good sounding signal here. Do you see what I see? I think we have our first coin, on the basis that that last coin is in fact a token. So it is indeed George V. It's in terrible condition though, and I can't get a date off it, but it's going to be sometime between 1910 and he was on the throne to I think 1936. So George V, he should never have actually been king. His older brother Eddie should have been king, but he died from influenza. There was a big outbreak of influenza in the early 1900s, and Eddie passed away. Ironically, Eddie was engaged to marry a woman called Mary of Teck. Her father was a German nobleman, the Duke of Teck from Germany, and he died before they could be married. George V then ended up marrying her. Talk about keeping it in the family. The signals are coming thick and fast. I think it's, oh, there it is there. Is that a coin? Looks too small to be a coin unless it's suspendable. Ah, it's a button. So it's a little bit better than your average button. We've got Hamilton and Mitchell, and then at the bottom the city of Perth, P-E-R-T-H. Well, initially this was a really ropey signal until I took it out, and now it sounds pretty decent. Oh, I think we've got another button. We have. I'm only about, what am I, 6 foot away from the last one. It also looks like it's got writing on it, and it's the same design. Well, we've got another button, but we're getting more provincial. We're getting further away from Perth. This one is Lowe and Sons, and then you can see there Blair Gowrie. Well, I'm back on the buttons. It's 3 buttons on the trot. This one's a lot earlier though. This is a little domed button. We'd have had a little loop just on the end there. And this is Georgian. So that's probably going to date sometime between 1715 through until the end of George III's reign. So that would make it 1820. This one about blew my ears. That's either going to be a silver coin or a piece of aluminium, and I don't think it's very deep. Let's see what we get. In fact, I tell you what, why don't I do, it's never easy, but why don't I try and do a live dig? They're a bit of a nightmare with one hand. Oh god, it's stony. Oof. I'll take another one out just in case. Right. Are we in the hole or are we out the hole? Let's see. We're out the hole, folks. Now, I've only got so many hands, so I'm going to try and do this without the pinpoint probe. The old-fashioned way that I used to have to do it. Hope I've got my cable stuck. There we go. Oh. We've got it. We've got it in here. Oh, how do you do this with one hand? Let's try and pick our way through it. Oh, I've dropped it. I've dropped it. There it is right there. I didn't even see that. We've got silver and we've got Queen Victoria. It looks like a threepence. And it is a threepence. Brilliant, always great to get some silver. 1891. 1891. So Pete's not faring quite as well as me. He's got 3 buttons though, so I've got 3, Pete's got 3. The top one we've got suspender. Don't know why you'd wear suspenders in a field, but maybe they were more like braces or to hold your socks up or something like that. And this one, there's writing on it. I think it says patent at the bottom possibly, but beyond that I can't really make it out. New patent maybe. And then this one's just plain, so they're probably all again from the sort of early 1900s, I would think. Pete's also turned up the tiniest little hinge you're ever likely to see. No idea what that could be off of. Any ideas, Pete? Something small. Right, we're going with that. I would.
It's off a jewellery case.
A jewellery
The
case.
is here somewhere.
The jewellery's here, right? Okay, we're looking for a jewellery case. Well, I've got another cracker here. So we've got it. It's about 6 inches down, and look, there it is. Do you see that colour? It's almost an off-white colour. That is going to be lead. Every time I pull something out, it covers it again. That is going to be a lead seal, I think. And I can already see some lettering out the way. Ta-da! It is. It's a lead seal. And it looks like it might be in pretty good condition. So here we go. It is indeed another lead seal. And the other side, it's both sides are in Russian, but the other side's even better. Nice clear letters. We've got a 3 there. We've got COPT. Is that October? Ugh, I don't know. How's your Russian? Does anyone know? But we've got a very clear date, 1878. Well then, what do you reckon to this? Could it be silver? It was a really poor signal until it came out the ground, and then it sounded fantastic. It's quite thin, looks like it's been part of a circle, but when you flip it over, and that bit there to me almost looks like it's almost like a sort of buckle design built into it. Could it be part of a, I don't know, a circular buckle or brooch maybe? And that's supposed to look like a little belt buckle on it. Or am I just overthinking things? So we've got another really nice signal. Well, we're not far away from where Martin got his gold coin. And do you see what's just fallen out of the bottom of that clod? We've got a coin. It looks silver, and it also looks like it says 15 something right there, and it's whole. You beauty. 1576. 1576. That means it's going to be Elizabeth I. So it's even better than I was hoping for. You can clearly see the bust of Elizabeth I in the centre. To the right, I think that's a rose, so that'll be a mint mark for potentially for London. You can see her with her big rough collar and her crown on. You can kind of make out Elizabeth at the top right there. I think it's a silver sixpence. It's in pretty good condition. It's a little bit worn, especially on the back, but 1576. So Elizabeth, she was the Queen of England, not Scotland, but she kept her cousin, Mary Queen of Scots, captive for decades in England, eventually having her head chopped off in 1567. And in 1603, Mary Queen of Scots' son, James VI of Scotland, went on to become James I of England, unifying the crowns of Scotland and England for the first time. in 1603. So very, very nice coin and a great period in Scottish history. So I'm just scouting around the area where the hammered coin came from. I'm probably only 5 metres away from it. I've worked my way around in a spiral. And that sounds very good. So we're out on the first hole. Oh, is that it there? It is. That's tin foil, I think. Yep. Either that or it's a massive hammered coin, but I think it is tin foil. Yep, it's Mr. Kipling. Hurrah! Pete's got a coin. Fantastic. It's just a matter of time. So it's well worn. We've given it a wee rub-a-dub. And you can see a head there looking to the left hand side. And just up here you can see 1-1. So it's George II, which means it's going to date from 1725, I think he took the throne, roughly, until 1760. So it's slap bang in the middle of the Jacobite uprisings. The Battle of Culloden was 1746, Bonnie Prince Charlie invaded 1745, and there was lots and lots of rebellion in the Highlands of Scotland. So this one wasn't a great signal until it came out. Have we got some sort of ancient relic? It looks like it's copper or copper alloy. It's got a little bit of a curve to it, but maybe that's just we've been bouncing about in the soil. But it's got these two strange little lugs on the top. What do you think that could be? Tapered at one side and probably broken at the other, I would say. Any ideas what that one is? Or a random piece of junk? Right, I called Pete over to my general area when I got the hammered coin. He's about 15 metres away and he's just shouted he's got a hammered, but he says it's not as good as mine. Pete, that is a hammered silver coin, and it's unfortunately broken. I can see some letters, but none that are jumping out at me. God, that wind's getting terrible. Might be Elizabeth though, it's got the same POR as my coin had. I'm guessing that's probably a sixpence as well. Silver sixpence. It's quite worn, but some of it's very legible. The shield would have probably been on the back there of... In fact, you can just make out a little something just there. So there would have been a shield that would have shown England, Ireland and France as well, because they reckoned they had a claim. In fact, you can just make it out if you get the angle right. You can just see the 4 quarters of the shield. So that's probably going to be Elizabeth the first, but it could also be her sister or half sister, who was Mary and Philip. Bloody Mary. She ruled for 10 years. She brought Catholicism back to England after Edward VI, the son of Henry VIII, died. Then Bloody Mary took over, and I think she had about 10 years of rule when she married Philip of Spain, who was Catholic, and set about murdering pretty much anyone and everyone that got in her way. It's definitely hammered, it's definitely silver, and it almost certainly dates to the 1500s. Well done, Petey! Another good signal here. And someone's missed it by 1.5 feet a previous day looking at that hole. Let's see if they missed something good. And the answer is no, they didn't. They missed a piece of copper wire. Well, I think this is going to be my last dig of the day. So 2 scoops and we're out the hole. And we've finished up with a piece of foil. So there you go, that's a brilliant end to a brilliant day. It's actually a milk bottle top. Just make sure it's not a gold noble. No, definitely not a gold noble. So that is that from me. Pete's digging his final hole, so unless he gets something amazing, then that'll probably be it. So that's us calling it a day. Done about what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
3 hours, and we've both ended up with a hammered coin each. Mine on the left, which is Elizabeth I, 1576, and Pete's is on the right. Unfortunately, it is a bit damaged, but I don't think they're both from Elizabeth I. I think Pete's might be slightly earlier. I think Pete's might be Mary the First, aka Bloody Mary. I think they're both silver sixpences, but we'll do a bit of research when we get home. If you know, leave a little comment for us. But I think, Pete, we can say that we've done pretty well.
Yeah, good day.
A good day. So I'm sure there's going to be more hammers to come out of this field. That's what, 5, 6? Including a gold, because you got a copper,
Yeah,
Charles as well. 6 hammered coins, so more to come. Thanks for watching.